Leading off the back of that, then the next thing I kind of wanted to discuss, because again, it was something that came directly out of UFC 300. We have to go back to money again. It's the bonuses situation. So obviously it was heavily, again, publicized leading up to 300 in the news that fighter pay bonuses were going to be changed for one night from 50k, or sometimes it's 75k, I can't really remember sometimes, on that night to 300k. So to clarify, that meant that every performance of the night, or performer of the night, which is usually 3 or 4 fighters, and then the 2 fighters that put on what is perceived as fight of the night, each receive 300k regardless of their being on the winning or losing side. So I'm going to ask a general question here, and let you cook about this any way you see fit. What do you think about the fight bonus system in general? And do you think it's something that needs to ultimately be reviewed or changed moving forward?
I understand why they put this in place in the first place. And it's to give them incentive to finish fights. And it makes sense. It made sense then, and it makes sense now as an incentive. Especially for those fighters who are fighting lower on the card, who don't have a crazy wage scale. You know, they're fighting for 10 and 10 or 12 and 12, and they still got all these people to pay. I like it. I think that the 50,000 that they were getting is drastically too low. That's what it was before. 50,000 is, I mean, that's just going to assist with them paying taxes. That's really not great. I think it should be 100,000 at bare minimum, and then for numbered cards it should be twice that. You're only giving out 4. You know, and I hear about the locker room bonuses that they give out. Well, those aren't publicized, so those don't count. So I think that it should at the very least be doubled, if not more than that. Just because, I mean, we hear the gates that these people get, that they're getting at even these smaller fight nights. Yeah,
that's the cheek of it, isn't it? The first thing they say is, we made 9 million tonight.
Yep, fight of the night.
Here's 50k to some guy who just got his face broken in.
You just pay my doctor's bills for, you know, going out here and get my face smashed in.
Thanks for fixing my nose that I broke, getting that bonus.
So they got it. They good for it. I mean, just on the other day, you know, I did that video showing who makes the most, and they made more in combat sports than anybody by far. And
yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. I've actually come with receipts.
So I mean,
ready to go.
Yeah, they do anything that gives them more money for what they're doing in there. I'm all for it, and it needs to improve the amount exponentially.
Yeah. So like, I mean, again, like, I mean, the first thing that I want to clarify is, obviously I had no issues whatsoever with fighters getting more money for UFC 300. I'm not saying that's unfair, because I think, like, it was kind of deserved, and it was the right move by the company, considering there was so much pressure on that card to succeed. You can probably tell that in the background there was a lot of talk beforehand of, if you fuck up the weight, there was probably extra pressure on the fighters, and they knew it was going to be, the spotlight on this was going to be insane. So they needed to have some compensation. That pressure was mostly created by the UFC and Dana, I might add, but that's another issue. For me, I think I know that you agree with the fighter bonus system, but I think it's the most despicable pile of bullshit in terms of policy in the UFC in general. Like, firstly, like 50k bonuses for what come down to ultimately what is a decision often made subjectively is so mind-bogglingly flawed. I can't even describe it. Like, and as you said, firstly, like, it's a very meager amount of money, and does fuck all to make up for the amount fighters get ripped out of financially on a consistent basis. As you pointed out in your video on the Forbes list, which again you brought up, of most valuable combat sports organizations, it ranks at a whopping,
It's
what was it,
something
14
silly.
billion?
It's more than everybody on the list combined.
Bro, they made 1.4 billion last year. Like if you ignore the amount of money being an embarrassing joke, I think the way that it's allocated is even more embarrassing. So I had a little look at a graph that was done by Reed Kun, who works for MMA Junkie. I'm going to put a link to that in the description. After looking at roughly 8 years worth of UFC end of the night bonuses, this graph kind of illustrated statistically that prelim fighters are unlikely to actually win one of those bonus awards. So according to like Kun's analysis, 36% of main event fighters took home some form of bonus, most often fight of the night bonus, while fighters that were ranked in the 12th spot on the card, so the prelim opener, and typically the first fight of the night, won a bonus just 7% of the time, including 0 fight of the night bonuses. So in 8 years, not one fight that opened the card has been given fight of the night. I don't mean to be a prick about this, but there have been quite a few cards where the first fight has been an absolute banger, and you're telling me that not one fight has earned it.
No,
I don't buy that. Like,
ain't right.
And another part of it that bothers me is like the people who are making this money up the card, they're usually making significantly more money than those on the lower end of the cards. So for example, like, why are you giving 50k bonus to a fighter who's making 300k plus to show on a card over a fighter that's making 8 and 8?
Yeah.
And then puts on a banger and gets completely overlooked. What would you like? Just as a little bit of a side question, how would you change it to rectify this? Like, what would you do? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Give out more bonuses.
Change?
Give out more. Don't limit it to just these, so these people can affect their situation individually. They don't have to compete with, the Israel Adesanyas and the Paulo Costas and, these bigger names for a fight bonus. They're not fighting them. They're fighting the person that they're fighting. So if, they go in there and submit somebody or knock somebody out, like, that should stand for something. That should be in their contract. Like, I feel like in the NBA,
yeah,
if Kyrie goes for a certain amount of points in his season, then he gets a bonus that is related to his performance. And I think that they could do something related to their performance, period. And if they get a certain amount of knockouts or finishes or whatever it is, that should be in their contract as an incentive. And it would be cool if it was known, because that's even more incentive. It's more for us to talk about too. Yeah,
for sure. Like, I kind of thought about this a little bit because my philosophy on life in general is I don't really believe in bitching about something if you can't like offer up a solution. So I'm going to try and do that. Now, obviously, the most obvious one is like your company makes a ridiculous amount of money. We know that. So pay them more. I feel like this company is like tighter than a waiter's kegs at certain points. Like I don't care who the fuck you are on the card. If you're getting paid anything from 8 to 20k from a company that's making that much money, it's inexcusable. Secondly, what you said as well, I think like if you're gonna stick with the bonus structure, it shouldn't be limited to 3 or 4 fighters on the card. I think it should be made part of the contract. Like, basically, it should be part of a contract where if you win by KO or submission, you should automatically get more money. It shouldn't just be you get a win bonus. There should be an extra incentive bonus in every contract that if you win by KO or if you win by submission, you automatically get more money. If they insist on keeping bonuses around, and it has been horrifically unfair and biased for a while, what kind of makes it the most deplorable thing to me though is when the UFC gives out bonuses, they're acting like it kind of gives the illusion that the UFC are somehow generously rewarding people. When in reality, they're fucking tighter than a duck's arsehole. Don't ask me how I know that.
Did some testing before this one.
But it's just
in case.
that Testing. Yeah, I made sure to. I had a busy weekend chasing ducks around the lawn to make sure that I could use this analogy correctly. But it's just like I don't. That's the part of it that really irks me. It's like it's they're making it seem like an act of generosity when these fighters should be getting that money in the first place. And I think instead of these win bonuses, it should be right. You get your win bonus regardless, but you also get a certain amount if you get a knockout, certain amount if you get a submission, regardless of where you are on the card or who you are on the card. They can afford it, and they should be paying fighters more anyway. There's no way you should be going in and getting 8 and 8, even if you're first starting out. That shit's deplorable to me, and I think it needs a shake-up. Wishful thinking.
Yep. They ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do nothing.